Hello student, today we are going to solve the exercise of history chapter number 4, the Mughal Empire. So student, in this exercise first question is name the six main rulers of the Mughal dynasty, and answer of this question is the six main ruler of the Mughal dynasty are Babur, Humayun, third Akbar, fourth Jahangir, fifth Shah Jahan, and sixth Aurangzeb. These are six main ruler of the Mughal dynasty. Next question, Akbarnama and Aine Akbari are the autobiographies of which ruler? So its answer is Akbarnama and Aine Akbari are the autobiographies of Akbar. Okay. Next question is who encouraged Babur to attack on India? And answer of this question is Daulat Khan Lodi was the governor of Lahore during the reign of Ibrahim Lodi, the last ruler of Lodi dynasty. Due to disaffection with Ibrahim, Daulat invited Babur to invade the kingdom. Next question is which Mughal ruler brought almost the whole of India in his control? And its answer is Akbar is the Mughal ruler brought almost whole India under his control. Next question is where was the first English trading post established in India? So its answer is in Surat, the first English trading post established in India in 1619. Next question is which Mughal ruler developed the idea of Sukhe-Kul or universal peace? So student, its answer will be Emperor Akbar's idea of Sukhe-Kul or universal peace was secular in outlook. It did not discriminate between people on the basis their religion. It focused on the attributes of honesty, justice, and peace. It also encouraged participation of various religious representatives in debates. Thus, religious tolerance become a part of state policy. So, in short answer, its answer will be Akbar. Akbar developed the idea of Sukhe-Kul or universal peace. Our next question is trace the origin of Mughals. So the word Mughal was derived from the word Mongol. The Mughals claimed to be the descendants of Genghis Khan, the ruler of Mongol tribe of China and Central Asia. From their mother's side, from their father's side, they were the fifth generation descendant of Timur, the ruler of Iran, Turkey, and Turkey. Our next question is explain the statement. The Mughals followed the Timurid tradition of succession. So its answer will be succession traditions of the Mughals. The succession tradition of Mughals was not that of primogeniture. Instead, they followed the Mughal and Timurid custom of compulsory inheritance. In primogeniture, the eldest son inherits his father's estate. In corporency, the inheritance is divided amongst all the son. Our next question is who was Akbar regent? What role did he play in the politics of the time? So, Bairam Khan was Akbar's regent. He was the commander in chief of the Mughal army, guardian and chief mentor of Prince Akbar. Bairam Khan played the following role in politics. Bairam Khan served Humayun and his son Akbar and made efforts to expand the Mughal kingdom. After Humayun's death in 1556, Bairam Khan became a regent to the throne as as Akbar was too young to rule by himself. He consolidated Mughal authority in northern India. Bairam Khan led the Mughal force at the Second Battle of Panipat to defeat Hemu, the Wazir of Sur dynasty, and allied Afghan forces. Our next question is Mughal and Rajputs entered into matrimonial alliance. How did Mughals use this to bring about stability in their kingdoms? So its answer will be the greatest enemies of the Mughal were the Afghans, the Pashtuns and the Rajput. The Afghan and Pashtuns could be controlled as their territories were out of India. However, the Rajput had annexed a large chunk of India, thus giving the notion that their empire was powerful. Akbar initiated an alliance with them so as to bring stability into the Mughal empire. Also, the economy would be balanced. Sudden raids by the Suris and the kingdoms of Bijapur and Golconda called for firepower and resources. This almost exhausted the economy, but thanks to Akbar's tie with the Rajputs. Next question is how did the frequent transfer of official ensure effective administration? So in the Mughal Empire, the Jagirs collected the revenue from the Jamindars. On behalf of the Mansabdars, the Jagirs were transferred frequently to instill a sense of insecurity in them and prevent them from becoming powerful. Our next question is write a brief note on Mughal administration. Okay, so its answer will be central administration. Okay, the entire administration was under the king. The emperor was assisted by several ministers. Among his ministers were Mir Bakshi Mir, Saman, Sadar Vakil and Diwan. Provincial administration. The whole administration was divided into subas, each governed by a subedar. The subas were divided into Sakrars into Parganas, each consisting of a number of villages. Officials were posted in every administrative center. They were paid regular cash salaries and sometimes received jagir for distinguished service. Okay, our next question is explain Akbar's religious policy. So, religious discussion influenced the policy of Akbar in the following way. They broadened his horizon and outlook towards religion. He got convinced that all religions were equally true. He adopted the policy of complete tolerance towards other religions. Akbar's policy was based on the principle of universal peace. Akbar constructed Ibadat Khana, house of worship, in Fatehpur Sikri, in which regular discussion on religion took place. Akbar ensured religious peace and security in the empire. Abolition of pilgrimage tax and jizya, construction of Ibadatkhana, etc., were all done with this purpose. Muslims, Hindus, Christians, Jain, etc., were allowed to construct buildings for the purpose of worship, propagate their faith peacefully, and celebrate their religious fairs and festivals. State service were open to people of all religions. A uniform taxation system were applied to all citizens and no social distinction was observed among the people on the basis of their religion. Our next question is how was Aurangzeb's rule different from that of his predecessors? So, unlike his predecessors, Aurangzeb wanted that the Sharia or Islamic law to be followed everywhere and the practice against the Islam rules such as the consumption of alcohol and gambling to be disallowed in the public. Unlike his predecessors, his reign was marked by austerity, the monumental architecture that characterized the reign of Akbar and Shah Jahan, including the Agra Fort, Fatehpur Sikri, the Taj Mahal, and Shah Jahanabad, held title interest for Aurangzeb, and similarly, the musicians who had adorned the court of his predecessors were dismissed. Our next question is, what were the major factors that lead to the decline of the Mughal Empire? So its answer is the decline of the Mughals was gradual and there were reasons behind that. Some of them are as followed. First one is the degeneration of the rulers lead to the degeneration of the nobility with facetious quarrels and intrigues costing the empire heavily. Second one is the empire had become too vast and unwieldy to be governed by the central authority under weak rulers, especially in the condition of medieval transport and communication. Third one is Aurangzeb's radical religious policy was largely responsible. It caused revolt by the Rajput, the Sikhs, the Jats, and the Marathas. Fourth one is Aurangzeb's aggressive Deccan policies was a complete failure and to a major extent caused the downfall of the Mughal Empire. So, student, this is the answer of chapter number 4. I hope you all understand, and this is enough. So thank you so much.